Hello everyone. The topic name of today classes is electrolysis. We have already discussed many things about the electrolysis. Today we will discuss the topic electrolysis in a very detailed way. First of all, I want to tell you what is electrolysis. Electrolysis is generally breakdown of electrolyte. Breakdown of electrolyte. Right, it is generally breakdown of electrolyte into the ionic form. You know that in the chemistry in the electrochemistry, the current is passed out through any solution or through any substance with the help of ions. If there is ion, then there is a possibility of passing the electric current through that medium. If there is no ions, then there is no possibility to pass out the electric current. So basically first we have to do the basic thing, that is breakdown of this electrolysis with the help of electric current. So basically electrolysis is that. Electrolysis means breakdown of electrolyte into the ionic part, into the ionic form with the help of electric current, and this is known as electrolysis. Basically electrolysis is divided into two parts, or you can say that electrolysis is of two types. First one is direct electrolysis, or it is also known as direct redox reaction electrolysis. And the second one is indirect redox reaction electrolysis, or you can say simply it direct redox and indirect redox reaction. Why I'm saying this direct redox and why I'm saying this indirect redox reaction? Let's understand this. If you have a beaker and you have two electrodes in the same beaker, and then you have a battery that provides you electricity, and there is an electrolyte solution. And now you are doing breakdown of this electrolyte. You are doing here breakdown of this electrolyte into the ions. So in the primary change, electrolyte will convert into the ions. In the primary change, electrolyte convert into the ion. For example, you have NaCl. So in the primary change, when you pass out the electricity throughout the NaCl, for example, this electrolyte is NaCl. So basically when you switch on this circuit, this NaCl will dissociate into the ions, that is Na positive and Cl negative ions. Now this is known as primary change. In the secondary change, this sodium Na positive wants to get neutralized. Similarly, Cl negative wants to get neutralized. Na positive gets neutralized by accepting an electron. How? Like Na positive, it can accept an electron to convert into sodium. Similarly, chlorine can lose the electron to convert into chlorine radical. And this chlorine radical will combine with the same species of chlorine radical, and it will form Cl2 molecule. So this is known as the secondary change. In the secondary change, basically ions get converted into the neutralized compounds or neutralized molecule. So in the direct redox reaction, basically oxidation and reduction take place in the same beaker. Now what is indirect redox reaction? If you are taking two beakers separately, and you are doing oxidation in one beaker and then reduction in another beaker, then this is known as the indirect redox reaction, or this is known as the indirect electrolysis. Basically we have to do the same concept. We have to provide some electricity with the help of some battery, with the help of some external circuits, and to break down the electrolyte. But now here two beakers are used, and this type of electrolysis is known as the, if this type of electrolysis is applied in the electrochemical cell. Basically this type of indirect redox reaction is basically used in the electrochemical cell, right? So what is the requirement of an electrolysis? An electrolyte. An electrolyte, it is a substance containing free ions. Electrolyte is anything, is any substance which contain the free ions, like NaCl is also a electrolyte because it contains Na positive and Cl negative ions in the molten state, which are the carriers of electric current in the electrolyte. And what we need a DC current, a DC current supply, that is a what, a battery. It provides the electrical energy necessary to create or discharge the ions in the electrolyte. Electric current is the carried out by the electrons in the external circuit, right? For example, if Cl negative lose the electron to convert into the Cl radical. So basically, if we have two beakers, if we have only one beaker, and this chlorine negative gets at this electrode, and lose the electron to this electrode. Now we have to transfer this electron towards the another electrode. We have to transfer the electron lost by the chlorine to that electron, to another electrode, to second electrode, which will transfer to the Na positive, and Na positive will accept the electron to convert into the sodium, neutralized sodium atom. This is the main concept of electrolysis. Here oxidation and reduction take place in in the same beaker, and maybe take place in the two separate beakers or two separate vessels, right? So Na positive and Cl negative, they wants to get neutralized. Hence, to transfer this electron, to make it possible that electron can transfer from one electrode to another electrode, we need a battery. That will produce an electromotive force, EMF. Basically means electromotive force. It means a force that motivates the electron to move in the specific direction, right? Then requirement of electrolysis, two electrodes. We need two electrodes. Like for example, we have one beaker, hence we need two more electrodes. One will behave as the anode, and second will behave as the cathode. One will behave as the anode, and second will behave as a cathode. Basically, oxidation process take place at the anode electrode. And reduction take place at the cathode electrode. Oxidation means loss of electron, and reduction means gain of electron. So loss of electron by the chlorine negative ions is done on the anode, and gain of electron by the Na positive is done on the cathode. So electrode is an electrochemical conductor which provides the physical interference between the electrical circuit, providing the energy and the electrolyte, right? So basically these are the requirement, like these are the two electrodes, and this is the electrolyte solution. Maybe it of NaCl, maybe it's of aqueous NaCl, and maybe it's of molten NaCl, right? So basically when Cl negative will lose the electron to this electrode, then electron will transfer from this direction to another electron. So this power supply will produce a EMF. If this will produce a voltage, this will produce EMF, potential difference create, and then the electron will start to move from the one electrode to another electrode. right? If you melt in the electrolysis, if you melt or dissolve an ionic compound such as NaCl or copper chloride, then the ions become free to move around and carry electrical current. Like this is the molecules of the solid copper chloride. For example, this is for copper chloride. This is the same case as the Cu2 positive and plus 2Cl2 negative, plus 2Cl negative ions, and these copper 2 positive wants to reduce, wants to get reduction, and the chlorine C negative wants to convert into Cl dot radical. It means this will lose the electron and copper 2 positive will gain the electrons, and the oxidation and reduction take place in the same beaker. This is known as the electrolysis of the copper chloride, right? Similarly, we can do the electrolysis of the many compounds, many electrolyte. As many electrolyte you have, you can do the electrolysis of the any electrolyte, right? This is basically happen in the electrolysis. We have already done the electrolysis of brine solution also. For example, this is another case. If we have NaCl solution in aqueous form, now what will happen here? NaCl first, with the help of electricity, convert into the ions, that is Na positive and Cl negative. Similarly, H2O will convert into the H positive and OH negative ions. So here, this is the primary change. These are both the primary change. The conversion of electrolyte into the ionic form is known as the primary change. Now what is secondary change here? Here Na positive wants to convert into the Na, and similarly H positive wants to convert into the H atom or maybe H molecule, and similarly Cl negative wants to convert into the Cl2, and similarly OH negative also wants to get neutralized into the oxygen gas or maybe hydrogen gas, right? Now out of Na positive and H positive have the lower discharge potential, right? It have the lower discharge potential because sodium is most reactive, and hydrogen is placed in the mid of the reactivity series, or maybe in the middle last, of the reactivity series. So sodium is very reactive and hydrogen has the lower discharge potential, so it will discharge first. And how it will get discharged first? It will accept a electron, to convert into H dot, and similarly second H positive will also accept an electron to convert into H dot, and this H dot plus H dot will combine to form the H2, that is the hydrogen gas. Similarly, out of chlorine negative and OH negative, both wants to get neutralized, but out of chlorine negative and OH negative, Cl negative have the lower discharge potential value. Hence that is why Cl negative wants to get neutralized first. And how will it get neutralized? It will do a loss of electrons. And convert into the Cl radical, and similarly next Cl negative converts into the Cl radical, and these Cl radical combine to form the Cl2 gas. They both combines to form the Cl2 gas. Hence in the class 10th we have studied that in the formation of some basic salts, we have already done the NaOH, formation of sodium hydroxide, in the class 10th. And we do what we do, like we have to done the electrolysis of brine solution. Brine solution is what? Brine solution contains sodium chloride and water, and in the brine solution, in the electrolysis of brine solution, in the 10th class we have already know that we got that NaOH, sodium hydroxide, plus hydrogen gas and then chlorine gas. This is all about that we got here. Also we got H hydrogen gas from these points, this H dot radical and H dot radical, these both combines to form the H2, that is the hydrogen gas. Similarly 2 chlorine radical combines to get the Cl2 gas, and similarly Na positive, we have remaining Na positive and OH negative ions. These both will combine to form the sodium hydroxide solution. This is all about the electrolysis process. I hope I cleared your doubt, and please listen the video carefully.